people that you book because you know they're going to dance on stage and they're going to bring energy. And there are some people that if I said that to, and she's looking at me right now going, please don't even think about it. Look, you can see her face. She's quiet and calm and everything. So this next lady was my first ever business coach. And I'm not exaggerating when I say if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't be here, I wouldn't be anywhere. Because I met her at a networking event that I didn't want to go to, but my business partner was very persuasive. I thought it was a group of mums that were going to looking at me, how am I dragging up my children? Genuinely thought that's what it was. I went on to buy the company later, so yeah. And she had gone along because one of our franchisees down south had said to her, you do that up north, there's a meeting, go and see. Am I allowed to share this story, or is this part of your talk? So Sharon couldn't find, I just suddenly thought, so Sharon couldn't find a car parking space. So in her head, she's thinking, well, I didn't want to go anyway. And I'm sat in this soft play going, oh my God, there's loads of feral children and mine are still hanging off my leg, so I didn't want to be there either. And we both found solace in that. We found each other, and she asked me what I did, because that's what you do, you get to know people, and I said, I'm just a mum. Because at the time I was just a mum, apparently. Well, we all know that there's no just a mum, and it's the most important job in the world. But I said that to her, and what she said next put me on the path to where we are now. So if it wasn't for Sharon, she was my first coach, she was my first mentor. I still call her Yoda. I do. I bought her a Yoda cake once at a team training, and got her to wear my heels. Sharon Bott, I can't tell you how much and how incredible you are. Not only did she change my life, she's took what she's going to talk about in a minute, she's took my husband through it, and it helped with his childhood trauma, and she's took 2 of my children through it. So when I say she is amazing, she is bloody Yoda. Sharon Bott.
I didn't intend to start this slot in tears. Thank you, Stacey. I love you. So, relationships, that's what she asked me to talk about. So, I'm going to throw this back onto you and invite you, please, will you write down a short list, 6 names maybe, of the people who are most important to you in your life. They've mentored you, they inspire you, you trust them, you love them. 6 names. I can see people not even picking up a pen. Just rude. Yeah, rude. People scratch. It doesn't have to be 6. You can make it just 2 names. Or you can, keep writing. Okay, wherever you've got to, hand up in the air if your own name is on the list. You read the little blurb, didn't you? Because when Stacey said relationships, I was thinking, relationships are crucial in business. Whether it's your life partner or your partner in business, your colleagues, your competitors, your customers, your clients, they're the lifeblood. Getting on with people and making sure that how we occur in our relationships, whether people like us and trust us, is crucial. And I'm not going to talk about any of that, because the relationship that really concerns me, and that's what I work with in life, is our relationship with ourselves. We are the number one person in our life. We're there, whatever we're doing, whether, we're setting goals, planning, or implementing, or picking up winner in category at the Business Success Bash. You're there. So, it's really important to get on with ourselves. What do I mean by get on with ourselves? I mean, trust ourselves, respect ourselves, listen to ourselves, and a whole host of other things as well. Just to share a little bit of my story. I've done lots of things in life. I was an actor for quite a number of years. I'm a mum of 2 kids. I was a network marketer, which is how I got to work and mentor Stacey way back when. I ran my own video production company, and I coached people to be as comfortable in front of the camera as they were off camera. I'm a voiceover person. I do stuff for The Guardian and the FT and an app called Curio. And I've been a coach for quite a lot of years. So I've done lots of qualifications in coaching, and I've coached people, CEOs, chief executives, all sorts of things. And although I've been successful-ish in all of those ventures, really, there was a bit of me always that thought I wasn't enough. I wasn't good enough. I wasn't doing enough. I wasn't being enough. I wasn't old enough. Now I think I'm too old. There was always something there. And I've never shared this before. And it was really interesting. As I was kind of pondering, what am I going to talk about on Friday? I've only been thinking that for 15 months ago. Stacey first mentioned this. So, no pressure. It's not like she asked me yesterday to do this. One of the things that sort of surfaced for me was that even from a very small child, I had this big sister, little sister thing going on. Now, I was a little sister. I have a big brother. So the message I often heard growing up was, look after your little sister. Take care of your little sister. Help your little sister. My big brother was being told this. So what did I take from that? I needed help. I needed protection. I needed looking after. There was also a lot of, what's your little sister done now? Of course. And at the same time, there was also a voice inside me that would say to me, I'm not just a little sister. I can be big too. And as I got older, and I'll call her little sister, would keep rabbiting on at me about, you're not good enough. Are you doing enough? What are people thinking? Am I going to upset people? Am I getting this right? And I've talked to a few people this morning, and this subject of imposter syndrome has come up, and people have said, yeah, well, I was thinking about this and thinking, I'm not sure I can, or am I allowed to? Only grown-ups have podcasts. Who am I to have a podcast? Anybody relate to this? Yeah? Yeah. And if you're not putting your hand up, I think you're probably fibbing. That voice has continued to talk. And bless her, I know little sister is looking out for me. She doesn't want me to get into trouble. She doesn't want me to look stupid in front of other people. She doesn't want me to fail and get it wrong. She wants what our brain is programmed for, which is success, looking good, being accepted, being safe within my community. She's also stopped me on numerous occasions. She's held me back. She's also put me through an awful lot of fear and, trembling in the wings. At the same time as little sister has been rabbiting on, there has also been big sister, this quiet voice saying, you've got this. Trust yourself. You can do this. You're okay. Come on. I've got you. Let's do it. Let's take that step. And when I have listened to Big Sister, she has never once let me down. Anybody kind of... I'm seeing some nods. Anybody identifying with this? Those two conflicting voices. So, which one do we choose to live with? Because the story, the most important story we ever tell, is the story we tell ourselves about who we are. And if we tell ourselves, I'm not good enough, I'm not whatever it is enough, then that's going to be how we show up. And are customers going to trust us? Are they going to feel that confidence? Maybe not. So many of our beliefs, because, what we believe about ourselves, all those beliefs, most of them are bollocks. This is an acronym. I don't know why you're all laughing. It stands for beliefs often limit life's opportunities, constantly killing success. There is a kids' version, which is rubbish. Yeah, I'm sorry. It's ridiculous, unhelpful beliefs block inspiration, sunshine, and happiness. Yeah, it's sweet, isn't it? Bollocks or rubbish. You choose. You choose. And for me, a lot of the bollocks came from that being a little sister and what I made it mean. And that's the thing, we all choose when stuff happens to us. It doesn't just happen, we create meaning out of it. And what does that mean for us? And some people are brilliant at turning the crap that happens in life into a stepping stone that they can grow themselves with and build strength, build confidence with. Other people can see it as a pit that they fall into and stay in. We've already heard this morning of someone who's overcome huge amounts of... huge amounts of stuff to triumph. You turn stuff around. It all depends, really, on what we choose to focus. So just right now, look around the room, if you would, please, and focus on everything that you can see that is red. Good look round. Yeah, so I've got bird's eye view here. Yeah. Okay, now close your eyes and add up in your head everything that you saw that was blue. I don't think anybody closed their eyes. You're not very good at obeying instructions, are you? And I am guessing that there was actually, when you look for the blue, way more blue than you were expecting to see. Because what we focus on gives us the evidence for what we believe. And what we focus on, we get more of. And we don't, focus on the red, you won't notice the green. Now, if red's your favourite colour and you spotted lots of red things in the room, you're probably kind of feeling, I feel comfortable here, this is a good room, it's got a good vibe. Yeah, lots of red. If you don't like red, or you have associations with red that aren't so pleasant, you may be feeling a bit, I'm not sure about that. I think I'm going to focus on the blue. Because what we focus on gives us our experience in the moment. Have been throughout my life. I learnt it from my mum, actually, because she was very good at it. I was a worrier. Until it occurred to me, actually somebody said this to me and I thought, oh, worry is focusing on what we don't want to happen, what we're fearing, dreading. It's the opposite of prayer in a sense, because prayer, we're focusing on what we do want. So, what are you choosing to focus on? What are you choosing to focus on in your life? What are you choosing to focus on about yourself? And what are you choosing to focus on about your business? Are you focusing on where you're going? Are you focusing on what's working right? Or are you focusing on what's going wrong or how much hard work it is? What we focus on gives us our experience in the moment. And I don't know about you, but it seems to me that most people operate best when they're having a good time, when they're feeling confident, when that they feel approved of. And yet, most of the time, what we're saying to ourselves, what I call my little sister voice, is not what we do with our best friend or with our kids or our partner of saying, come on, you've got this. We're doing the opposite. We are undermining ourselves. We are criticizing ourselves. Probably not out loud. We're all very good when we're networking about putting on the big front and the eyes and the teeth. But underneath, there's this little voice going, oh, So, here's an invitation. Choose consciously to be your own cheerleader. There's an expression I used to hear when I was a kid. Don't blow your own trumpet. Yeah? You see, this stuff that we take on board. Well, honestly, don't blow anybody else's trumpet, because that's how you get germs. And there's another one that I used to hear, which is, don't get too big for your boots. Yeah. And yet, what do children do? Any parent will know. Cost of shoes. And you no sooner buy them than they need the next pair up. Children's feet grow. So if our boots are getting too tight for us, if we're getting too big for our boots, it means we're growing. And as Betty Davis said, we're either green and growing, or we're ripe and rotting. So let's opt for green and growing. So, shifting from listening to Little Sister to actually embodying what Big Sister is saying. It means changing how we look at ourselves. And when we change the way we look at things, the things we look at change. So, could I invite you all to stick your finger up in the air? Look up at the ceiling and draw a clockwise circle on the ceiling. And keep drawing that circle. Keep going. And slowly, bending at the elbow, bring your arm down with your fingers still going round in a clockwise circle until you're doing it below your nose. Which way is it going round? It's anti-clockwise. Yeah. Yeah. I know, right? How did that happen? Don't worry. I've done this before at talks, and every so often, 5 minutes on, I suddenly see a little hand go up. How does that happen? When we look at things from a different perspective, they look different. When we change the way we look at things, the things we look at change. And that is also true of ourselves. So when I kind of clocked this, and for me it was a very gradual process. I've been fascinated by self-development for years, and I was a junkie really when it came to self-development courses and trainings and counselling qualifications and all sorts of things. And I was a coach for many years. About 8 years ago, I met someone at a networking event who, actually, I vaguely knew her, spotted her across the room, and there was something about her. She was shining. And I went over to her and said, it's Kathy, isn't it? You look amazing. You look all lit up. And she laughed and said, funny you should say that. I've just done this course called Light Up. Have you heard of it? And I went, no. Mel Pledger, have you heard of her? I went, no, thinking, well, I've been around self-development for years. If I haven't heard of it, it can't be any good. And she said, it's really important you meet. So I spoke to this woman, went through this Light Up course, and then I trained to deliver the work myself. And honestly, I've kind of been in service to that work ever since, alongside all the other things I do, because what it gave for me was confirmation. It helped me remember who I am. And for me, remembering is kind of the opposite of dismembering, because when we dismember, we take apart the head and the heart and the limbs and everything. When we remember, we come back together. And I kind of believe we're born knowing who we are. You look at a newborn baby, they are whole, complete and perfect. And then as we grow up and we hear all these different voices, we start to get disconnected and to lose that inner connection with ourselves. I keep pointing to here because it's like we're head, IQ, the thinking, intelligence, intellect, whatever. We're EQ, which is feeling, empathy, emotion, and what's now being called SQ, which is intuition, gut instinct, that inner knowing. And we spend so long up here just listening to the little sister voice in the head, thinking through stuff, overthinking, getting paralyzed in our decision making because so many pros and cons to weigh up. So getting out of that thinking, connecting with our emotion and with that deep inner knowing. Head, heart and gut, absolutely talking. Have you heard those people described as lighting up the room when they come into it? Yeah. Well, we all know that's not an external light, it's an inner light. It's our whole body intelligence, if you like. And once that happens, once we're truly listening to our intuition, and I know you've all had moments when, whatever the noise in your head, there was just that inner sense of, this is the right person for me, or this is the right choice. Whatever's going on up here, I just know. Or there's a red flag that says, no. It makes no sense, but no. I'm not going there, or I'm not talking to this person, whatever it is. Once we're connected and listening, it is a game changer, honestly. Little sister's voice, she's still, she can go on. And now it's kind of like, okay, I hear you, thanks. Get in the back seat, I'm not listening to you anymore. You can come on the journey if you like. You can yell really, really loud if you spot something that you think I've missed. But mostly, you can just shut up and go to sleep, because I'm using my inner sat-nav to guide me on this. I'm listening to my intuition. Stacey's given me the running out of time. I could go on for ages. I've still got loads of post-it notes here with things to do. I urge you, trust this. You're going to hear so many brilliant tips today. Some of them are going to be a perfect fit for you. Some not so much. Trust the ones that are really coming from here. If I invited you to swap shoes with the person sitting next to you, you'd kind of look at me as if, what? They're not going to fit. They're going to be really uncomfortable. Well, the same is true for, what you're going to hear. Not just today, but in life. Suggestions, influences. It's distinguishing what is right for us and moving forward with confidence on that, rather than thinking, I've got to try everything, and feeling lost. 2 minutes. Right. Thank you. In a minute, she's going to be saying, shut up, get off. You're hungry. I know. It's lunchtime. TLUP. No. The light up place. TLUP. Is it? It's in the brochure. There's a special offer. There's also an app. You can do light up for nothing, really. Or you can do it one-to-one, which is another experience. There's a special offer from me to you today. If you're interested, get in touch. There, I've finished. Thank you. Thank you.